The Heart's Contract. Hello, friends, it's me again. The night is chilly, and I'm sitting in my familiar spot at the coffee shop. The ice in my glass of iced coffee has completely, because it is not just about love, but a whole lifetime, full of ups and downs, sweet and bitter, sometimes thought to be shattered, sometimes heartbreakingly beautiful. I will tell it slowly, in detail, as if I am sitting beside you, so you can feel every beat of Ethan's heart, every tear of Sarah, the story content. It was June in Texas. The sun was scorching. Ethan sat on the back of the construction manager's pickup truck, his helmet tilted, his profuse sweat. It was a red dirt road, the truck was bumpy, and dust flew everywhere. Ethan had to cover his eyes with his hand, only catching sight of the jagged limestone hills, the lush green fields, and in the distance the site for the community college construction project. A vast empty plot of land with nothing but wild grass and a few scraggly acacia trees. Ethan was 23 years old, a landscape design engineer, with a stellar degree from Texas A&M University. His head was full of dreams of skyscrapers, modern overpasses, projects that people would admire and wonder who built this amazing thing every time they passed by. But he had been at the state company for exactly 4 months and 12 days, and Ethan's job was to prepare presentations and make coffee for the boss. At noon, he would photocopy documents, running 50 copies de travail, and get scolded if he missed an inside page. In the afternoon, he fetched water, wiped tables, and ran errands for the technical staff. He was bored to death. Sometimes Ethan would sit in the air-conditioned office, look out the window at the brilliant. Then one day his boss called Ethan into the office, his voice casual as if calling him to photocopy. "Get your things ready. Next week you're going down to Texas." Ethan's eyes lit up as if he had won the lottery, escaping the suffocating desk job, escaping the smell of cheap perfume from the accounting lady next door, escaping the contemptuous look of the older technical guys. On the first day at the construction site, June 15, 2023, the project was located in Lockhart, 20 kilometers from downtown Austin. The road was full of potholes and large bumps. The workers had set up temporary shelters at the site, but the 6-person technical team needed a more decent place to stay. The boss Ethan wandered into a nearby water shop, a rundown place with a corrugated iron roof, plastic tables and chairs, and a whirring electric fan. Ethan ordered a cold Dr. Pepper and asked the owner, "Auntie, are there any houses around here for rent?" The owner, about 60 years old with black-stained teeth, smiled broadly. "Go down to that row of kiosks and ask. Maybe Mrs. Martha's house at number 6, Ethan thanked her, finished his Dr. Pepper, put on his helmet, and walked nearly 500 meters under the intense sun. The concrete road was burning hot, and Ethan's office leather shoes started to blister. Ethan knocked on every door. House 1 was, House 3 didn't rent to strangers. He reached the last house, a flat-roofed house with a storage room upstairs. It had a blue-painted iron door and a small kiosk selling groceries. The door opened and a woman stepped out, about 28 years old. Her hair was tied up high. She wore a loose grey t-shirt and faded jeans. Her face was bright and her eyes were large, but there was something tired about her, as if she'd just been crying. She looked at Ethan from head to toe, not answering immediately, only asking what he wanted to buy. "Ethan, I have a room, but I don't intend to rent it out. Ask Mrs. Martha at number 6. Her house is big, only the old couple lives there." Ethan thanked her, but his heart lingered on her beautiful face. It wasn't the sharp, striking kind of beauty like the models online, but a rustic Martha's house and secured 2 rooms. But they only allowed 4 people to stay, and his technical team had 6. Ethan went back and knocked again, his voice slightly pleading. Sister, there isn't enough space over there. Could you let me think about it? Leave your phone number, I'll call. Ethan went back to report to his boss. That afternoon at 5:30, the phone rang. It was her. She agreed to rent the room, but their living hours had to be exactly to her liking, or she would kick them out immediately. The room was the storage space on the flat roof, hot as a bread oven. Standing in the loft in the summer felt like being roasted. Downstairs, whenever he saw Ethan, he would run out and hug his leg. Mister, give me some candy. Ethan and the construction manager shared the house with her, but the manager often went to Dallas for work, actually to visit his girlfriend. So Ethan spent 80% of the Ethan wore out his office shoes going back and forth, but rarely spoke to her, just a few casual greetings. Sister, I'm back. Uh-huh, dinner is on the table. He heard rumors that she had a child without a husband, so Ethan was shy. Every time he walked past the kiosk and saw her selling goods, Ethan only dared to sneak a glance before quickly heading up to the loft. A sultry evening, their first real conversation. May 12th, 2023, a hot summer evening. Ethan brought a plastic chair to the porch to read a book. While he was reading how the steel was tempered, she also brought out a folding chair, lay down with her hand resting on her forehead, and looked up at the star-filled sky. Ethan noticed she often smoked when little Max was asleep. It's even hotter downstairs. Sitting here to cool off. What are you reading? A novel, How the Steel. Would you like to read it? She nodded. Yes, bring it down for me tomorrow. Then she asked, Where are you from? California. So young to be working so far from home. I'm only 23, sister. She laughed. It was the first time Ethan saw her really laugh. I'm 28, 5 years older than you. Who asks a woman her age anyway? Ethan laughed along, and the atmosphere became less awkward. Then she fell silent, looking into the distance. Ethan idly asked, Where is your husband? I haven't seen him. She tensed up, and the atmosphere suddenly became heavy. Ethan realized, stammering, I'm sorry. She did not reply, only wiped the corner. Before leaving, she said softly, Can I borrow Gone with the Wind? In the following days, Ethan felt shy every time he saw her, but she kept smiling and asking about him. One evening, she called up to the loft. Ethan, do you have any other good books? I finished Gone with the Wind. She chose The Godfather and went to sit on the porch. Ethan also brought out a chair. It was hot. She lay down while Ethan sat and read. Then she told her story. Her name was Sarah. At 19, she fell in love with a guy from the next village named Jake. Her family was poor, so Sarah dropped out of school to work on the farm. She loved Jake, trusted him, gave him everything, and got pregnant. Jake demanded she get an abortion. Jake changed his mind, saying it wasn't his child, claiming Sarah had been seeing someone else. He left for New York and married another woman. Sarah gave birth and raised the child alone. Gossip from others tormented her endlessly. Child without a... She brought her son here. A strange land, struggling to survive. The small kiosk was all she had, and little Max was her whole life. After telling her story, Sarah cried. Ethan offered her his handkerchief, the white one he often used to wipe sweat at the construction site. Sarah wiped her tears. "I've never told anyone. You're easy to talk to." Ethan gave a forced smile. "I was abandoned. She went to Europe to study and left me." Sarah nodded. "That's why we understand each other." From then on, Ethan and Sarah talked more often. Sarah smiled more. Ethan found himself missing Sarah, missing the way she tied her hair, missing the faint smell of her shampoo, missing the look in her eyes when she watched little Max playing outside. The construction project was nearing completion. Ethan had more time off, coming home early every night, eating the food Sarah cooked and helping her clean up. It was the night of her father's death anniversary, May 5th, 2023. Sarah prepared a feast, saying it was her father's memorial. Ethan came home and saw Sarah busy in the kitchen, wearing a sweat-soaked t-shirt, her hair sticking to her neck. Ethan rushed in. "Let me help," Sarah started. Ethan tripped over a chair and reached out to steady her. Sarah embraced Ethan. They stood still, their hearts pounding. Sarah pushed the chair away, muttering, "This damn chair!" Ethan laughed. Sarah blushed and ran outside. That evening during dinner, Ethan kept looking at Sarah. Sarah knew and just smiled. "Eat, what are you looking at?" Little Max ate heartily. Ethan teased, "He eats like a horse." Sarah laughed. "You need to eat a lot to grow." Late that night, Ethan took a shower and went up to the loft. Sarah also came up, brought a chair, and lay down to look at the... Sarah looked at Ethan, her eyes sparkling. Ethan took Sarah's hand. "Thank you, sister. The food was delicious and talking to you is very nice." Sarah pulled her hand away. "Don't sweet-talk me. I don't trust men." Sarah stood up and slapped Ethan, the sound echoing in the night. "Don't joke with me. I haven't let anyone touch my heart for 3 years." "What do you want to prove?" Ethan hugged Sarah. "I love you. Not out of pity, not..." Sarah cried and pushed Ethan away, but Ethan held on. Sarah trembled. "The boy is asleep, but we can't." Ethan turned off the light. That night, they were close without words, only breaths and tears. Sarah whispered, her voice weak, "I'm scared." Ethan hugged her tightly. "I'm here. I'm not going anywhere." Sarah cried but didn't push Ethan away anymore. Ethan kissed her forehead. Sarah trembled, her hands gripping Ethan's shoulders tightly. They made love amidst the whirring sound of the fan in the sultry heat of the loft. Sarah cried, but they were tears of happiness. The next morning, Ethan woke up early and saw Sarah lying next to him, her hair messy, her lips slightly swollen. Ethan kissed her cheek. Sarah started. "Weren't you tired last night?" Ethan laughed. "Go to work, you've made me suffer all night." From then on, they were inseparable. Ethan helped Sarah with chores, fixed the electricity, and cooked. Sarah did Ethan's laundry and smiled more often. A heavy rain fell on May 25th, 2023. It poured, and Ethan ran back from the construction site, soaked, to help Sarah pack up. Ethan kissed her forehead. "I'm lucky that you love me." They made love to the sound of rain drumming on the corrugated iron roof. Sarah cried, but they were tears of happiness. Ethan wanted to bring Sarah home to meet his parents. Sarah shook her head. "I won't go. You have a career." The day they said goodbye was October 15th, 2023. Sarah cried. "Forget about me, consider it a dream." Ethan returned to Austin, his heart aching. Ethan came back to sign some documents and saw Sarah sitting in front of the kiosk. "Oh, Sarah," Sarah cried, "I missed you so much." Ethan stayed for a week and they became inseparable again. Ethan proposed, "Let's get married. I'll organize it here so everyone knows you have a husband." Sarah agreed. The wedding was simple but complete. Ethan continued working in Austin, coming back to visit Sarah once every 2 weeks. Ethan's parents pressured him to marry Hannah. Hannah cried, but still wanted to marry him. Ethan married Hannah, but still came to visit Sarah. Hannah knew and accepted it. Ethan opened a design office near the school. Sarah managed it, and their life stabilized. Ethan loved 2 wives, one legitimate and public, one quiet and private. Love is not always perfect. Sometimes it is distorted, sometimes it is painful. But if it is sincere, Ethan chose to love both, even though it was not perfect. Conclusion and life lesson. What do you think? Was Ethan right or wrong? Does Sarah deserve happiness? If you were in their shoes, what would you choose? Leave a comment, I'll read them all. See you in the next story. Thank you for listening to the whole story. Please support and encourage us with a like and subscribe to the Midnight TV channel to hear new stories. And now, goodbye and see you again. Life lesson. Learned, love and life do not always follow a perfect template, be it social morality or personal standards. Sometimes, the most complex and painful choices are the result of sincere heart's desire. This story raises questions about the limits of love, sacrifice, and the ability to accept imperfections in a relationship, reminding us that happiness can exist even in distorted situations.